So, have you ever wondered what your rights actually are when it comes to student walkouts? It can feel like a really tricky balance, right? You want to make your voice heard, but you also have to follow school rules. Well, today we're going to break down exactly how one school district, Barstow Unified, handles this whole thing and what it all means for you.
Okay, so first things first. Let's start with the foundation of this entire policy. The school district doesn't just jump into a list of rules and restrictions. Nope, it actually starts with a core principle, your fundamental right to express yourself.
This quote really gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's a super clear statement that your voice matters and that your constitutional right to speak up is something they actively support. This whole thing isn't about silencing students, it's about creating a framework for that expression.
All right, so the district supports free speech. That sounds great, but what does that actually look like during a normal school day? Let's dive into the district's official guidelines to see how they actually put this into practice.
And this right here is where they draw a very clear line in the sand. On the one hand, you have expression that's totally supported, as long as it's peaceful, respectful, and doesn't interrupt class. But on the other hand, leaving campus for a walkout, that's not condoned. The key difference really comes down to location and disruption.
So here's the bottom line, the direct consequence. If you leave campus to participate in a walkout, it will be marked as an unexcused absence. According to the district, this is a firm rule. No ifs, ands, or buts.
But you might be wondering, why an unexcused absence? Is that just an arbitrary school rule? Actually, no. The district's hands are kind of tied here by the very specific language in the California Education Code. Let's take a closer look at what the law actually says.
So the state law is really clear on this. It allows for just one excused absence per school year for a student to participate in a specific kind of event. Only one.
And here is where the details really matter. The law has a very specific definition for what counts as a civic or political event. And if you look at the examples, voting, working at polls, going to a political forum, you can see they're all pretty distinct, structured activities.
And this is the legal core of the entire policy. A walkout or a protest is simply not on that list of valid reasons in the Education Code. Because of that, the school legally cannot mark it as an excused absence.
But, the district's policy isn't just about following the letter of the law. It's also built on something absolutely fundamental, a non-negotiable responsibility, keeping students safe.
This is a really critical point to understand. A school-sanctioned event is something the school has organized, planned for, and approved, like a field trip or a football game. A walkout just doesn't fall into that category.
And because it's not a school-sanctioned event, there's a direct and really important consequence. No school staff will be there to supervise. No teachers, no administrators, no security. Once students are off school grounds, they're no longer under the school's watch.
And this is the bottom line. It's as simple as this. Once a student walks off school grounds for an event like this, the district's legal and practical ability to keep them safe is gone. The school is responsible for students on its campus, but that responsibility ends at the property line.
So with all of this in mind, the right to express yourself, the rules on attendance, and these major safety concerns, the district is really encouraging families to just have an open conversation about these issues at home.
These are pretty much the three pillars of that conversation. Families are encouraged to talk about how important it is to make your voice heard, while also weighing that against the value of being in class, and, maybe most critically, the real safety risks of being off campus without any supervision.